What's going on? My name is NFT Flenny, and you are going for the Disney drop on Veve. Or at least you're trying to, because most of us could not even get in. Veve put out a tweet thread addressing the issues, and I'll read you guys that tweet thread so everyone can be up to speed and we can hear it straight from Veve's mouth. In the first tweet of 4, first, thank you for your passion. Today's drop sold out quickly as expected, but it was not without its issues. Here's what happened. One of our third-party providers were not scaled properly at drop time, which caused the performance issues. However, the problem has been identified with the provider and we have been assured that it has been resolved. We should see a much smoother experience tomorrow and moving forward. Again, thank you for your continued patience. We're excited to have you on this journey with us, and we will work to make sure everyone can experience collecting in this app hassle-free. If you need support, please submit a support ticket. So it sounds like for whatever reason, the server was not scaled to its potential or to what it should have been, but how they're wording it and how they're saying it, it makes it sound like it's a relatively easy fix. It's not like they need to start from scratch and remake the whole infrastructure and the whole system. If you were around back in the day, you know that for weeks and weeks, the market was completely down. Like, not even for a period of time before the drop, it was down for weeks straight. And it took them many weeks to rebuild the app in the back end and to get it working for drops. I was a little nervous that it might be a process like that where they kind of have to restart and kind of make a ton of changes. But luckily it sounds like it's maybe something that just wasn't supposed to happen, or maybe someone messed up. I don't know how that stuff works really, but it sounds like it's a somewhat easy fix, and it sounds like we should be good for tomorrow. But just in case we're not, or just in case the app is still lagging and crashing, I'll be giving you guys some tips how to get around it. Not get around it, but just give yourself the best chance. So here are a few things that you can do to get some collectibles if the app is not working right. If it is working right, refer to my last video, you'll be set. If it's not, you can use some of the info from this video. So first things first, you're gonna wanna get on the app early. I used to do this back when the app would crash more regularly, but I haven't done it recently just because everything's been going so smoothly, but I will for sure be getting on early this time to play it safe. From my experience, what happened was, logged on the app, I exited to clear my files like I mentioned in my previous video, and then when I came back on, it was taking forever to load, and then it made me sign in. And I tried to sign in, it kept giving me an error. It wasn't even giving me the option to do 2FA, it just immediately said error. Nothing was loading, nothing was spinning. Even though it was the correct credentials, it was not working, so I could not get into the app. I wonder if I stayed in the app, if I would have been able to go for the drop or not, but I know some people who were in the app and got kicked while they were in, so it's not a guarantee that if I was in early, it would have worked. But this is your best chance, because if the servers are overloaded, they're not going to allow new people in. So getting in early is your best chance to stay in the app, like the people who were able to get the drop. They somehow were in the app when no one else could get in. So that's the first thing. You want to get in early, so in case something happens, you have your best chance to remain and not get kicked out or not be able to be let in the first place. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, if you can afford it and if you're comfortable spending it, load up a bunch of gems beforehand. And that's because lately we've been getting some payment errors. Even though it says it's an error, sometimes it still goes through. So what you're going to want to do is have a bunch of gems ready. So if you're one of the lucky people who gets to be in, you don't need to worry about the hassle of taking time to buy gems or risk it being a glitch buying gems, because on Saturday's drop for the Eternals, I had to buy gems because I forgot to load them up, and then my gem transaction never went through and I lost my reservation. You want to have your gems ready so you can keep buying as many as possible for time reasons and just for safety reasons, if you will, just for the safety of reserving your collectible. Tip number 3 is to keep hitting buy just as many times as you can. Even if you think it's not working, even if it looks like it's not working, just keep trying, because there have been so many glitches and everything that, like I said previously, it could still go through. Be tenacious, keep getting at it, don't give up, keep trying everything that you can. These are some of the most valuable and historic NFTs we have ever seen so far on Veve, and maybe that we'll ever see on Veve. It's hard to get much bigger than Disney, so you're going to want to be doing all you can to try to give yourself the best chance to get these. With that being said, gotta throw out a couple disclaimers. The first one is that this is not financial advice and will never be financial advice, as always. The second disclaimer is this method can be, it's ambiguous, I guess you could say. You could be getting a bunch of errors and not be getting any, or you could be getting a bunch of errors and be buying more than you're expecting. I've personally seen both cases where people have bought more than they wanted to, like they spent more money than they wanted to, because they thought they weren't getting any. They just kept trying. Turns out they have 5 in their account and they didn't want that many. I've also seen the time where it shows an error but you don't actually get it. So My advice would be load up as many gems as you're comfortable spending on that drop. If they go through, great. If they don't, they don't. If you're worried about overspending, don't buy extra gems. Just load up whatever you're comfortable with. Veve had said in the tweets that I showed you guys that the drops from here on out should be good and it should be resolved. But in case it's not, you guys have some tips to help you out. I mean, it's still a huge drop. It's still Disney. We've been seeing problems even before these Disney drops with the Eternals. Keep in mind that it is still very much a possibility that something goes wrong with the app. And even if it's not exactly the same problem as what happened with the Simpsons drop, you can still apply some of these principles and some of these ideas and still try to get an inch ahead of everyone else. Now, these are just some workarounds around the bugs and the glitches, but bugs and glitches are very unpredictable and they're not supposed to happen, so we don't always know exactly the best way to go about it or what's happening in the back end of the app. These tips are not guaranteed to work. Sometimes you might not even be able to get into the app at all, in which case you couldn't even use these tips. So keep that in mind. It can be very unpredictable. Don't beat yourself up if you think you did something wrong or something was your fault, because most likely it wasn't your fault. There is a lot going on in the app right now, and this app is still so early, so new. NFTs are so early. Just do what you can. Hopefully these tips helped. If you guys enjoyed the video and found something useful, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing because it really helps my channel grow and we could spread this valuable information to everybody else in the Veve community. So guys, thanks for watching. This has been NFT Flenny. I'll see you guys next time.